We'll be talking about credit today. What's the difference in credit scores? So there are many different types of credit scores. The two most common are FICO and Vantage Score. So FICO is used by 90% of all the major lenders in the country, and Vantage Score is used by Equifax and TransUnion, and you most often see it in Credit Karma and things like that. There's a distinct difference between the two in that just the way they calculate things. So with FICO, your current history may be weighted more strongly than with Credit Karma. So you may see a difference in those scores, and it's important to know what your FICO score is because that's the one the banks will be using. Who are the credit bureaus? There are 3 different credit bureaus: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. They may not all have the same items on your credit report. As a matter of fact, the lender may choose to only report to 1 or maybe 2 or even just 3 bureaus. So not all your accounts may show up on all 3 of them. And so many lenders will use different credit bureaus to determine your creditworthiness. Many times we are checking all 3 bureaus because every bank may look at a different bureau. Some banks will only look at an Equifax, or some banks that'll look at a TransUnion, and then there are other banks that look at an Experian score. So many times, yes, we'll look at all 3 bureaus when we're applying for credit based on which bank we're going to send you to. Inquiries. Do inquiries hurt my score? Inquiries can impact your credit score. Both the FICO score and Vantage Score take those into account in their algorithm. However, not all inquiries are going to be equal. For instance, with FICO scores, there's auto, mortgage, and student loans. Multiple inquiries within a 30-day period don't impact your credit the same way multiple inquiries for, say, a credit card would impact. FICO knows that if you're shopping for a mortgage or student loan or auto, that you're going to rate shop. You want to get the best rate. So in that 30-day window, they're basically counting that inquiry as a single inquiry. What things go into a credit score? There are many things that go into credit scores. Things like the amount you owe, how long you've had credit open, the amount, the reference or percentage of balances to the limit. So a higher balance in relation to your credit limit could impact your credit score negatively. Inquiries, which we've talked about, do impact your credit score, as well as pay history and other items like that. Credit scores have a range of around 350 to 850 depending on each bureau, but FICO is 350 to 850. And so credit scores vary. There's not necessarily a range that we're looking for. We have banks that work with 800 credit scores, and we have banks that work with 300 to 400 scores. Many of those banks, look at other factors besides just your credit score. They're going to look at things like the equity in the deal. Are you putting money down? Do you have a paid-for trade? Items like that to help them make that decision. But your credit score does factor in. It's always my recommendation that you check your credit scores and know your buying power before you walk into the store. That way you know where you're at. You may not have all the answers, but at least you know where you're at. Make sure you're checking your FICO score. Many times people come in and they know their Vantage score through Credit Karma or one of the other services, but they don't know their FICO score. And annualcreditreport.com is a place where you can go get that. Where can I learn more about credit scores? So Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian all have consumer information and education pages where you can learn more about credit scores. MyFICO.com has a great website that tells you about FICO scores. Vantage Score also has a site where you can learn more about their scoring system, and you can even get your free credit report annually at annualcreditreport.com. It costs you nothing to do that, and I encourage you to make sure you get your credit report so you know what's on them. Should I use a credit repair service? Credit repair services are doing what you can do. The only difference is they're charging you for it. Most credit repair services are fixing errors on your credit report, which you can do through the credit bureau. They're contesting maybe faulty information, which you can do. And they're even making updates and changes, again, which you can do through the credit reports. It's just a matter of whether you want to spend the time to do that yourself or you want to pay somebody to do that for you.